Welcome back to the Post TV Season 5, Episode 5. I'm Hayley Mitchell. We have a lot of content to cover today, so let's dive right in. The Women's Center and Student Senate threw their annual Take Back the Night event. It is designed to promote awareness of sexual and domestic violence and provide a safe, inclusive environment for survivors to rally and advocate for victims of violence.
Tuesday, Ohio University hosted their annual Take Back the Night event. The Baker Ballroom doors opened at 6:30 and speakers spoke from 7 to 8. After speakers, there was a march to take back the night from 8 to 9.
Take Back the Night is about raising awareness for sexual and domestic violence, and also just focusing on the survivor experience so that we can uplift survivors and celebrate them.
The event happens during April because April is National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. The event educates attendees on sexual assault, domestic violence, and ways to prevent sexual violence. Speakers tell their stories so attendees know that they are not alone and that they can take back their power by telling their stories.
Take Back the Night for me, this year is a little different than last year. Last year I spoke actually, and then this year I'm here to support survivors and anyone that needs that supportive space. And so it's just this incredible, powering time for people to come together and show that we support survivors and we believe them and their stories matter.
There were also artistic performances by ABCD Dance and the Ohio University Ensemble. Anyone in attendance was welcome to march in the Take Back the Night March. The group marched up Court Street, starting at Baker Center, chanting sayings like, 1, 2, 3, 4, we won't take it anymore, with signs that spoke out against sexual violence.
So we have an allocation to help pay for t-shirts and yard signs, and we also help publicize a little bit, and then we just we come here, help direct people, and we're also giving out our Safer Sacks at this event, and those have items in them like condoms, pregnancy tests, drink covers, keychain alarms, things like that just help promote safety.
If you are struggling with domestic violence or sexual assault, Ohio University and Athens County provide many resources like the Survivor Advocacy Program, which you can contact with this number, 740-591-4266.
No means no!
Reporting for the Post is Lily Marinsky.
If you or someone you know is suffering from sexual or domestic violence, please know that help is available. OU's Survivor Advocacy Program offers confidential support and services to all students free of charge. There is also the Survivor Advocacy Outreach Program, which is open to any resident in Southeast Ohio. The Black Alumni Reunion has been placed on hold for this year due to recent federal changes in Ohio legislation. The reunion was supposed to be from April 10th to April 13th, but now there is no upcoming date set for it. Other signature events at OU related to the reunion that were planned for April have also been canceled. President Gonzalez wrote in a statement, "We are always eager to welcome our graduates back to campus, so we are disappointed that we need to place this gathering on hold." She also says, in light of changes to federal and state guidance, we need to think differently about some of the ways we live out our mission. Alumni Terry Frazier says there is a group of alums that still want to put the event on, but through the community rather than the university.
The reunion is more than the institution, it's the spirit of the people. And as a community, we want to get together, and nobody's saying we can't come to Athens. And also, once again, the main goal of that is to interact and enjoy each other's company, but also give empowerment and inspiration to the current students of color that are in Athens, to let them know that we're here to support them and what do they need to be successful.
The Alumni Planning Committee will meet over the coming months to evaluate next steps, and President Gonzalez says she is thankful for their willingness to work with the university to reimagine the event. All across America, protests were breaking out on April 5th to speak out against the current political administration. Athens participated in these protests and had former educators and guest speakers who spoke out against the dismantling of the Department of Education as well as Elon Musk's involvement in the government.
April 5th will forever be marked in history as the day millions came together all across America to protest the current administration. From children to college students and all the way to retirees, hundreds gathered outside the Athens Community Center to voice their concern. Their message was clear, straight out of the Declaration of Independence. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it.
I stand before you not to speak of the atrocities that are happening in education under this current administration, but to be a beacon of hope.
Concerns over the future of education in this country has become increasingly widespread after President Trump signed his executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. As of right now, the American people are not sure what will happen to student loans, grants for rural schools, and even federal work-study programs that provide employment to students with financial aid.
So when I look at the things that are happening under this new administration, where all the rights are being taken away from our United States citizens, and the things that are happening in education, the things that are happening to Social Security, how the world is viewing us right now. I can go on and on and on, but for me, it represents all things of the direction we're headed if we do not stand up, speak loudly, and take back our country. I am so scared, but I also am hopeful, because look at this. There are hundreds of people here, and to know that I'm not the only one who feels so much in despair is empowering. And I have friends who live in different parts of the world, and they're telling me how we look to the outside world. It's embarrassing. So until people stand up, speak our truths, make a difference by writing our congressmen, writing our senators, calling them, using our pocketbooks, things are not going to get better. So we have to do it, and we have to do it now.
After recent controversies surrounding Elon Musk, protesters feel it is time for him to get out of our government. One message was clear: I was not paid to be here.
Well, we know that Elon Musk was it Milwaukee last week trying to pay people $1 million to show up and do vote for the Republican candidate. We're not receiving money, obviously, to do this, but it's already, I've heard around SB 1, for example, a couple weeks ago, Matt Huffman, the Speaker of the House, was claiming that all the students who were protesting were actually just paid actors. No one actually cares that much. And he was even quoted as saying that, I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but something to the effect of, protests don't matter because we're going to vote the way we want to vote, is basically what he said. So there's no ramifications. They have a supermajority in the House and in the Senate, so there's no reason for them to ever care what anyone ever says about anything.
On a local level, concerns over Senate Bill 1, also known as the Enact Advance Ohio Higher Education Act, was signed into law recently. This bill is a threat to DEI efforts and the jobs attached to them.
I just have really cared a lot about these issues, specifically like everything that's going on federally, but also with Senate Bill 1. I'm a student staff member at the Pride Center, so I'm looking at losing my job within the next 90 days. And, any opportunity to get out and make some noise about what's going on is absolutely an opportunity I'm going to take. It's insane to even suggest that people are being paid to exercise a constitutional right.
The fact that they have to say that they're paid protesters is just them being worried. We all know that anything they say is probably what they're doing. Yep. So we are not paid protesters, and I don't know anybody who is.
Yeah. This is only the beginning. Athens is just one of many cities rising up, but they will not be the last. Across the country, people are stepping into the streets to speak out for what matters most. They will not back down, they will not be silenced, and they will not stop until they are heard. From Athens to everywhere across America, the movement is growing.
Athens will continue to have their voices heard and express their opinions amidst the current political climate. Recently, multiple small businesses have closed all over Athens, but the West Union Street has been hit the hardest. Due to construction uptown on the Lostro building, 3 businesses on that side of West Union Street have been forced to close. One business in particular has really felt the effects of closing.
Cool Dig's Rock and Garden Shop has been a long-running Athens business for the past 13 years. They have a location on East State Street that specifically sells outdoor and garden supplies, but their shop uptown was made specifically to house their rocks and crystals. That dream was shattered when construction on the Lostro building took over.
What we didn't know is that in the months prior to that, they had already had this thing closed off for months. And so people's traffic patterns were starting to take them around the other side of the street.
Owner of Cool Digs, Sarah Koya Bryant, says the fence blocking the sidewalk went up in August and has not come down since. She tells me she has sent numerous emails to the city safety directors asking how the sidewalk can just be blocked off, as that's people's right of way.
We had routine customers who immediately were complaining, hey, I can't park up here. These guys are taking up lanes of parking. They're covering all the bags. No one can get to your shop. I have to jaywalk to get to your shop now.
Athens resident and employee at Rise and Grind Coffee Truck, Cannon Mitchell, says he's seen how this construction has disrupted businesses, and he says it's uncalled for.
The officials that are in charge of this town, I think, are meant to try to preserve as much of it as possible, and I think that it is a bad decision on their parts to let these businesses die.
Bryant says she wanted to move Cool Digs uptown to sell to college kids that can't make it out to East State Street. Unfortunately, she says she was bleeding money, forcing her to ultimately shut down.
What about all of these other businesses? Like you're shutting down 3 businesses over empty promises from an unfinished development that is way over time already.
Owner of 10 West Clothing Store, Mary Cheadle, understands these frustrations as she's battled them herself.
I'm bummed when any business goes out of Athens.
Cheadle says in 2014 there was a fire, ruining 7 businesses, forcing her to move to a temporary location. When she moved, she was stuck behind all the construction to fix those buildings, and she says that almost took her out.
I totally understand where they're coming from and how hard that is when you lose the foot traffic, because even though it is just on that side of the street, it does affect the whole street. If you know that's going on, you might avoid the street altogether or avoid coming uptown altogether.
Bryant says she's working with a group called Reimagine Appalachia, who works to change laws through a community benefits plan. Bryant says this plan would be a binding contract between the community and the city to ensure wherever construction is happening, they're being good neighbors.
People want to get together and they want to know what's going on. They want to have conversation.
We just need some things that are unique. Let's bring some uniqueness back to Athens.
Bryant says she will continue working with the community and advocating for change. She hopes to bring Cool Digs back uptown in the future, but for now, she says she'll keep pushing forward, even when she gets knocked down. Although the turnover rate of small businesses in Athens is alarming, we can take heart that a staple of our community, PassionWorks, is thriving and is actively working to expand their business. PassionWorks first opened in 1998 with a vision of creating a collaborative art studio that provides an inclusive space for people with and without developmental disabilities to express their creativity. They moved to their current location on East State Street in 2009 and became recognized as a nonprofit organization in 2018. Their business is thriving, but in recent years have been struggling to meet their full potential with their limited studio space. The nonprofit is in the process of purchasing Ambassador Laundry to use for ceramics, music events, jewelry making studios, and many more art mediums for the community to express their creativity.
I mean, needing more space has been a conversation for years now. We have had great success over the past 26 years, which is fabulous, but with that comes the need for more space.
Athens is clearly passionate about their community arts, and PassionWorks will continue to fill that space in Athens. Check out the most recent episode of We Should Be Studying at thepostathens.com, where Grace asks the boys questions only girls would know the answer to, and more.
Welcome back to the We Should Be Studying podcast with Joshua Jacob, Grace Schmidt, and Eli Maestros. Ooh, it's been a day.
We're finally here.
I love how we start every single podcast like as if we're surprised that we made it to another week.
Well, I mean, I think especially with this one, guys, we've been putting
in the work.
We've hit a lot of hurdles this week and last week.
Coming up, moms took over Court Street this past weekend, and we'll go behind the scenes to see how fest season is set up. But first, here's Audrianna Reed with sports.
Hi everyone, I'm Audrianna Reed. It has been an amazing season so far for the Bobcat softball team. They have a current record of 25-10. They currently stand at second place in the Mid-American Conference. They hope to change that this weekend when they take on Kent State at home. All 3 games will be streaming on ESPN+, so if you're not able to make it in person to cheer on the Bobcats, go ahead and stream those games. Moving to the other side of the diamond, the boys' baseball team is struggling to keep the energy going. They have a current record of 8-22. Their bats were awakened by graduate student Blake Reed, who went for 2 for 4 at the plate, and Nick Dolan, who had 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 RBI. Currently, their future games for this week have been postponed due to weather, so make sure to check back at thepostathens.com for more updates. Running over to the track, Ohio's track and field team is heading into their 3rd outdoor event for the season. Last weekend, the Bobcats were home for the Cherry Blossom Invitational, where sophomore Ellie Greenwell was able to record the 4th fastest time in program history for the women's 800 meter, with a time of 2 minutes, 9 seconds, and 41 milliseconds. The Bobcats will be back on the track for the We Fly Challenge this Friday at Ball State. Transitioning to the green, the men's golf team will be competing in Columbus this Friday for the Buckeye Classic. The women's golf team was supposed to compete today, but sadly the 2025 Colonial Classic has been canceled due to weather. Even though it has been a rainy couple of days, I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Good luck to all the Bobcats competing this week. Now let's head back to the desk with Hayley.
OU moms got to revisit their college days by hitting Court Street with their kids over the weekend. Reporters Audrianna Reed and Ranjini Shank captured some sweet moments between moms and students.
Hi guys, welcome back to Voices on Court. This is 2025 Mom's Weekend Edition. Can I get your guys' first names?
Joan, Paige, Lisa.
Perfect. And you guys are here for Mom's Weekend, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Perfect. What have you guys been up to so far?
Just bar crawling all day.
We've been crossing off all the bars all day.
Oh, so you guys are like driven. You have a.
We have a plan.
We've been going all day.
Oh my God. So are you the daughter and yours is your mom's?
My mom's over there. They're all visiting me. We're the best.
You're
friends.
like aunts. Yeah.
No, they're my aunts. They're like my aunts.
Actually, we're just getting started.
But we did have a really great day.
What did we do?
Oh, we made bouquets.
We made bouquets and we went to the dairy
And that was
barn.
so fun.
Can you think of your funniest memory of your mom? Like the most hilarious thing you can think of?
She's just a funny gal, just every day.
She makes you laugh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I really don't like puke, but we were getting ready to go to the to the football game here, and I think this was the first time you guys were like came up and like stayed and like went out and all that. And we were at Mr. Hibachi, and she was about to go and eat, and you just saw her face go completely pale. So I walked down to the city hall and I sat there so I could get away from her because I was scared.
What has been like the best moment this weekend?
Friendship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friendship.
Meeting new people. I love it.
Yes, that's awesome. And what has been your favorite bar so far tonight?
Oh, where were we at? Lucky's?
Lucky's, yeah.
Lucky's.
Wherever they play country music.
You know what? I just love being with her. She lights up my life.
Whether you hit the bars or spent a chill night in, I hope everyone got to appreciate some quality time with their moms. And to everyone listening, tell your mom you love them. Fest season has been an iconic time in the spring semester for years, but you may be wondering how it actually gets set up. Brick Life Entertainment is a live production company here in Athens, known for organizing parties and events. They create all the dates for Fest season. There's a lot of work that goes into planning each party for Fest season, including music, location, collaborations with different organizations, and even sponsorships with places like Snag and Red Bull. A fraternity member from Theta Chi explains that pairing up with another fraternity and getting a DJ from Brick Life for the parties allows it to be open up to more students. Brick Life says their first priority is safety for everyone at the party to ensure that everyone can have a good time.
So it all starts with Brick Life announcing the fest dates, what days the fests are going to be on, and then from there the houses that we typically work with and the other fraternities and organizations that throw, based on the dates that we provide, they will then schedule their parties accordingly, and then we will be contacted by a rep of the organization or the house and asked to DJ their party that they throw for that specific fest.
This coming weekend will be the last Fest weekend of the year, with Athens Fest on Friday and Palmer Street on Saturday. Enjoy the weekend and party safely. OU Vibrations recently held their annual spring show on Saturday. Founded in 2017, OU Vibrations is a student dance group that is open to all, regardless of dance experience. The group creates and choreographs their own pieces to perform at a variety of events, including football, volleyball, and basketball games, as well as their own annual spring show. They also participate in charity fundraisers, like their upcoming Cardio Dance charity fundraiser to raise money for a nonprofit dance studio for children. The CoLab hosted a unique event on Saturday called the Startup Market, which allowed student entrepreneurs to display their businesses and sell handcrafted items. While Alden hosted a plethora of Moms Weekend festivities on Saturday, the Startup Market outshone them all. The student-led art market allowed budding businesses to sell one-of-a-kind pottery, jewelry, stained glass pieces, and much more. The market doesn't take commissions, allowing students to have an accessible place to showcase their handmade work while taking home 100% of the profits. Reporter Raphael Anglade interviewed several students who were running their own booths at the market, and one student who upcycles vintage jewelry says she loves the market because it fits the demographic she tries to sell, college students.
So the event today is the Startup Market in the CoLab. It's run by the Center for Entrepreneurship. Everyone here has been so supportive and very creative, so I love being part of a community where everyone can kind of uplift each other's business and support each other while also in a student area. I do a lot of these vendor shows just kind of out and about, and I'm wanting to do more, so this is a great way for me to get my business out there for my target audience, which is younger people who are just interested in fashion. So I think it's a great stepping stone for me to do this, and also I get to be with all my friends all day, so it's great.
Have you ever wondered how our newspapers get made? Members of the Post took a field trip to the Athens Messenger to get a behind-the-scenes look at how the printing presses operate. Thanks for tuning in this week. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X at The Post Athens. Have a fun and safe week, Bobcats. We'll see you next time.